So I just finished, not technically just finished, but I was start processing it a little bit, the Marvel Universe, or the MCU. Everyone just calls it different things. Minus one movie because it's not on Disney Plus, and I didn't feel like pirating it. Well, I did feel like pirating Little Women, but it's Little Women. I watched it 3 times. It's great. Best MCU movie yet. So yeah, this is a ranking of the MCU, and after absorbing all of it, having fun, but also realizing that it's the industry is saturated with hero movies, and it's like a little bloated with this, and kind of it tiresome even if you just watch all these movies, and it's just like, holy crap. It's a lot. Okay. So I did manage my time with these movies. It's not like all in one go. I took a weekend, watched like that, I watched the first Iron Man on a Friday, then finished the Avengers on Sunday. The same thing went next week. But the week after that, it was just because since Phase 2 and Phase 1 are so similar, because it's just like 6 movies. Minus the Incredible Hulk. But with Phase 3, it's a lot more. And thinking that since the Marvel Universe going forward, it's going to be triple. Because now it's well, this year it's 4. If you count the TV shows, I was not 7. If to count the Hawkeye TV show that's come out, that would be 8. But overall, I am not counting the TV shows right now. I'm only counting the movies, because since Black Widow's coming out, and that is the start. Well, technically, WandaVision was the start of Phase 4. Well, the Marvel movies are based in the theater, so Black Widow is a Marvel movie in the theater. I wanted to do this last year, but you know what happened. So this is a celebration of all the Marvel movies of the Infinity Saga. So that's what it is. A ranking of the Infinity Saga. So some of my original thoughts have changed. Some movies I like more, and some movies I like less. And some movies I just still remain the same with them. I was quite surprised by some of these ones. Really surprised. I'll take a look at it. It's just great. Nah, anyways. So the way I label these movies is so there's the top 10. There's the top 20. It's actually the top 19. I'm not doing the top 20 because the first 4 movies are called WTF, What the Feige, instead of just the F word. The second one, from 11 to 19, are just some fun. So I just think these movies are just fun. So What the Feige, now this is just what happened with these movies? Why are they like this? They're probably a bit rushed, or Marvel had too much control over them. Because some of them are in Phase 2 and Phase 3. That's mostly from that era. And they're just why? Almost. So the second one, from 11 through 19, are just some fun. So they're just movies I just find fun. They're okay. They're not that bad. Maybe some of them are bad. They don't make me angry as in What the Feige. Now, the top 10 are just the top 10. They're just the best of the best. And also, these are my opinions. If you say otherwise, this movie should switch with that, no, you are not me. I am me. I make my own decisions. You don't make my decisions for me. I do see that a lot when people will do their movie rankings, and people will say, oh, you should switch Captain Marvel with Thor or whatever. Why are you telling another person how to rank their own movies? It's their ranking. It's not your ranking. Which I should stay off the internet. So another thing I did with these movies, or how I'm reviewing them while watching them as well, I took notes. So with phase 1, I only did 4 segments. There's politics, characters and actors, best scene, or favorite scene, whatever, and outdated stuff. Also for phase 2 and 3, I added WTFs. So WTFs are also what the Feige, because like since Marvel Studios were like, hey, we're Marvel now, or whatever, after the Avengers, there's some weird stuff, or it could be WTF as the regular WTF, the comics crap, whatever. If a normal audience, so like, or a person who just vaguely knows things, would watch this and be like, what the hell is this? Or, what the F is this? Yeah, and you see in politics, Marvel movies, like from the Iron Man 1, since Iron Man 1, Captain America are probably the most political out of anyone's. He's an arms dealer! That works for the government! Of course he's gonna be political! And that's World War II! For Captain America, so yeah! There's surprisingly some more politics than others in other movies they probably wouldn't expect it. And also, I really think when people make the Marvel movie rankings, I've seen some of them, and it's just when you add like a new movie like Spider-Man or the WandaVision, whatever, it's just the same notes that they had from the last one. It's just like they have Spider-Man now, and like Spider-Man Far From Home in their video, or Endgame, whatever now, it's in their ranking. Like, where does it stand, or whatever. It's a repetitive video that some of these people do, and I don't understand why these can just make it after all the Marvel movies that just came out, and there, put your ranking right there. It's just the same video over and over again. Or do you have no new takes on the movies, just their notes from like their reviews or whatever, or their cliff notes, whatever? It's a waste of time. There should be only like one ranking once a year, not like 12. No need to waste your own time. Just saying that. So let's begin with number 23. Thor: The Dark World. Who saw this coming? A mile away. Yeah, Thor: The Dark World is not that great still. Here's something funny about this movie for me, is that when I was like, before I started watching trailers would pop up on YouTube as an ad still, and I saw it a few times, and then when I saw it in the theater when I saw Iron Man 3, I do not remember it. I thought it was Chronicle, and apparently Chronicle came out in 2012, so I kind of got confused with it, because it's the same, like, saturation, there's, like, weird stuff happening, whatever, like, I thought it was the same movie, and it's also not like that. It's a different generic thing. It's actually not generic sci-fi, it's generic fantasy trying to be sci-fi, if you can say it like that. That is in my WTF spot. Yeah, also the WTFs can be, like, whatever for, like, the movie itself. I also put here, for under characters and actors, the characters are generically serious. Oh, it's kind of hard to get attached to the characters in this movie. So I put under characters and actors, the characters are generic serious. It's kind of hard to get attached to these characters in this movie on a realistic level. A little bit. I don't know, I say a little bit, it should be a lot, actually. I don't know why I'm saying that. Oh, this was like in the middle of the movie I wrote this. And not that invested. Okay. Also, like, the politics in this is, like, Thor trying to fix, like, the 9 realms. I think that would probably be a more interesting movie. Instead of, like, Thor going to Earth again and fighting Malekith, that's his name, the elf guy. Like, what's wrong with what's up with the 9 realms? Why do they have to see Jane Foster again? Like, what's she significant to? Like, you know, like, she's, like, the love interest, like, from the first one, but, like, really, you couldn't just have Lady Sif to be the love interest? Couldn't expand down that relationship more instead of having Natalie Portman again be in another weird sci-fi franchise that's like a fantasy as well. Oh man! I also got So there is no outdated stuff. We had Kat Dennings, and she had like a lot of like pop culture ones, like stuff like in the first Thor movie. But like, there's nothing here. So like, why was this movie on Earth in the first place? Unless there's like a Coke can, or that's not outdated. It has to be something like significant to that time. So like, we have her, but like she doesn't make anything else like snappy, whatever. Like I guess the favorite scene from in this movie is like when it's near the end. So like Thor wishes not to be king, but a good man. What's Natalie Portman in this movie? Oh wait, they had to add something for her character to do because the previous women in Marvel movies like Iron Man and Captain America, and they had all the women do something. But like she's like a scientist. It's just like what was she, like a theorized whatever, universe theory whatever, something like that. Yeah. No wonder she hates these movies. Didn't want to come back for Endgame. She didn't know what she was. I don't remember what she was. So, Thor: The Dark World is number 23. There we go. Thor: The Dark World, right here. Oh, Angel. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's right here too. I was like, I had to look at my notes. Like, what is the next one? It's Age of Ultron. Mistake from the first time. Oh my god. Well, yeah, for under politics for Age of Ultron, I put Joss Whedon does not know politics. The reason why I say this is because I think the Avengers movie could have expanded upon like Hydra, but like Hydra was like only in there for like 5 minutes, and like what again, like with the Dark World, you're taking out Hydra bases in the beginning, like, but like they also mentioned like briefly like you took out multiple Hydra bases. Like, where was that? Like, and Hydra was a very big threat in Captain America not Captain America Civil War, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Why couldn't they expand more on that? I know it would be like Hydra again, but like it's more interesting than a giant robot that wants to destroy the world. Like, what? Like, there's a lot of people like watching these like Marvel movies, like binging on whatever, like reacting to them. And you watch, and probably also watching these people. These people are probably also watching the end credits and thinking like when they see Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and they see like, oh, this guy, this scientist guy, sparing on kids, or whatever, or teenagers, it's probably gonna be the next big villain. But no, he's in it like for like 5 minutes, and then the big villain is a giant robot. It's like another Tony Stark. It's like evil Tony Stark. So I don't know why they couldn't expand upon Hydra a little bit more in Avengers. Like, they fight Hydra in the cartoons, the Avengers. Like, it's not just Captain America. They can just destroy them together. I also do have outdated stuff in this one. The outdated stuff is Joss Whedon, actually. So I'm not gonna save that for when I put Avengers, but like, yeah. Also, under WTFs is just this movie was just a setup for a bunch of other movies in Phase 3. Oh, and also, wait, hold on. Under WTFs, this movie is just like a relaxing end. There's nothing like critical and big at the end, because like at the end of Winter Soldier, there was a cliffhanger. Like what's going on? What's happening next? And at the end of Thor: Dark World, it's like again Thor leaves for Earth. It's still like, what's the mystery behind that? He just leaves. I know he's going to Earth, but like he gave up the throne, and at the end of Iron Man 3, he gives up being the arc reactor being. Like, how is he gonna make his suits? Is that his core or whatever? My favorite scene is actually Hawkeye's speech to Wanda. What else I could say about this? Yeah, Hawkeye is the only good thing about this movie. Actually, I really like. Yeah, I said I really like Hawkeye. There's really not that anything else I could say about the characters in this movie. Yeah, okay. I also said there's a lot of cool lines being said just to be cool. I think there are. Yeah, that summed up this movie. Alright, let's move on. BAM! Ah, I got stuck to the tape. So, number 21 is The Incredible Hulk. I know I didn't see this movie, but I can remember enough. And I remember it doesn't make me angry because I haven't seen it in a long time. Or I didn't want to pirate it. Because I watched Little Women. Okay, I should put Little Women on our Marvel list instead. It's a great movie. Watch Little Women. So, like, what can I remember? I can remember Bruce arguing with Betty out of the cab, and I just really like that scene, and like the end, like him fighting the Elder Hulk, whatever, Abomination. That's what it's called. I just put it on there because like I don't like these other two movies. If I did watch it, it would probably be the same. I don't know. But it doesn't make me angry enough to like bump it back, or I just had to set it down somewhere. I can't say anything about it because it's just like I don't remember it that much. I last saw it time I pirated it for Avengers Endgame, so like I don't have enough things to say about it. Okay, so it's number 21. That's it. Bam. So number 20, Doctor Strange. Yeah. Well, there's no politics in it, because it's just, like, in a magic place, whatever. And there's no politics of, like, doctor stuff. Like, here's the weird thing about this. Like, I do like the beginning of the movie. It doesn't feel like a Marvel superhero movie. It just feels like a dramatic drama about this guy, like, breaking his hands. And then, like, the second act happens, and it just becomes a magic person. There's nothing much I can say about Dr. Stephen Strange himself, because he's just like, because after watching all these movies, you finally realize that there's a formula. There's like the Tony Stark formula. Everyone acts like Tony Stark. It's either like Thor, he's like the dumb Tony Stark. Peter Quill is like, I'll say dumb again, but like not clever Tony Stark. And Doctor Strange is just like magic Tony Stark. That's it. I did say Palmer, that's, what's her name? The Mean Girl, whatever. I forgot. Why am I forgetting people's names at this thing? Palmer is my favorite normal person. Christina Palmer is my favorite normal person. Also, Steven doesn't fight with, like, magic at all that much. It's like, after having, like, Guardians of the Galaxy and like the first Avengers movie, which is like a bunch of weird sciencey stuff, like sci-fi stuff, you don't do anything weird with your magic guy, And what else I can say about this dumb movie? It's not dumb. There's something I do like. I do like the giant demon head. Oh yeah, but hold on. Yeah, it said like I do like the some of the space stuff. No, oh wait, there is nothing outdated because it just takes place in another, not kingdom, place that doesn't have any like outside stuff. It's being a freaking Phase 3 movie. It's just acting like a generic Phase 1 movie. Oh, my favorite scene is It's Not About You. The when Steven is talking to the Ancient One. I like that scene. It's like, not about you, whatever. Yeah, like, yeah, this is one of the movies that was like, not as fondly as I remember before. So, yeah, I do like him in the Avengers movies instead, because he does, like, the balancing off of Tony Stark is not, like, they're the same, and he's doing more magic stuff. There's nothing to him. There's nothing to this movie. So, anyways, let's just move on. So that's What the Feige. There we go. All four. Someone's gonna be like, why isn't Iron Man 3 under What the Feige, whatever? Hold on, I'll get to it. I'll get to Iron Man 3, but right now we gotta get to Iron Man 2. Why is that under not What the Feige? Well, because I kinda like Iron Man 2, half of it. I like the beginning of it, but like the second half is like like setup for the Avengers. And well, here, and also we get to our first outdated stuff probably in this one. I put down CNN because like I think after this, like after like Age of Ultron or Ant-Man, they started to use like a made up news network, and I was also proved me wrong when I saw another Ant-Man where the other Ant-Man movie where they had local news, whatever it was, and also put Dancing Girls. Also, under politics is like with like Iron Man talking to the government about his weapons and how the Iron Man suit is a weapon, and then because I mean technically it is a weapon, but he's not letting the government have it. He says that he is Iron Man, which is true, but also the suit is a weapon still. Even though you are the maker of it, and you can keep on making things, they're weapons of mass destruction. And like people are like trying to like copy him, which like every what is happening also in our world, which is like people just try to copy people. There's like with the NASA thing, like trying to not the NASA thing, but us versus the Russians trying to like get to the moon faster or whatever. Compared to that, like we also like with weapons of mass destruction, like Korea or Russia probably have the same ideas so that we have probably with weapons, or try and make the same things. They probably try to make their own Iron Man suit too. Probably everyone's trying to make their own Iron Man suit, even us. Like, I don't think an actual Iron Man suit will work because the body has like the pressure of it. It's just like it goes like Mach 5. I don't think an actual Iron Man suit or Mach 1 or whatever. I don't know these weird sciencey stuff, but like I don't think an Iron Man suit can work in our real world. But like it's fun to think about, I guess. So like that's the politics. You see how I like the beginning of it. It's like it's all like this stuff, and then later on it's just like another movie. It's just the same movie with setups. I put under characters and actors. There's not that much difference between Terrence Howard and Terrence Howard's Jane Rhodey and Don Cheadle's Jane Rhodey, because they both have to deal with a maniac. They act the same kind of, it's two different actors. I don't think we can get that much from Don Cheadle in this movie, actually, from like his character. I think we got more from Terrence Howard, but then later on the other MCU movies we get more from him. My favorite scene is when Tony's watching that video from his father. I like that scene when like his father says that his greatest creation is him, which is the most heartwarming scene in the movie. The movie is one half trying to be a new movie, and the other half just the same movie. He fights a bunch of Iron Man and one giant big Iron Man. I think the only good scene in the movie is the beginning, the only good fight scene is that when he on the racetrack and just whipping all and like that stuff is fun. The other thing is just like the other half of it is just like okay, it's the same movie. So Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, damn it, no, so Iron Man 2 is just, it's fun, but not too fun. Content. Oh, okay, it's, why am I trying to look at the book? I have, like, the things right here. I'm an idiot. Also got, right there, actually. So the next one is Thor. The first Thor. I put, for under politics, it's a monarchy. And there's also, like, Odin has a bunch of stuff, like, saying a wise king does not seek war. Odin steals Loki from the Frost Giants in order to try and bring peace to the kingdoms of Asgard and the Frost Giants. Politics. I'll put under the characters and actors. Thor is selfish and learns to be selfless. selfish and selfless. I can't say selfish and selfless for being on Earth. That's the only thing I can say about this, about the character of Thor. Oh, it's the bar scene. My favorite scene is yeah, I remember that. Okay, for the first time Thor in his life, he doesn't know what to do. Bar scene. Oh, here's the outdated stuff from Kat Dennings' character. Facebook. She takes a picture of him and puts it on Facebook. Whatever. Yeah, no one uses Facebook anymore. Like half people use it sometimes. You open it, it's just a bunch of weird groups that you were in like 7 years ago. Like what's happening here? It's just a bunch of sad people on it. No one uses like posts like on their timeline. It's just groups now. It's just like everyone just groups. It's all just groups. That's Facebook now. Also, this Thor movie is kind of fun sometimes. I mean, he fights the frost giants, and then he fights a robot, and then he fights his brother. There. Those were fun. Everything else is just like, okay, just kind of dull. But it's like, it's whatever. I have fun with it. Well, so far, so good. So this is the right now. The next one is Ant-Man. That's me shrinking down. My hand shrinking down. There's also not that much outdated stuff. There's a, if you want to count Baskin Robbins. Oh, yeah. Under WTFs. So I put... We're starting with WTFs again. So I put... Some of the scenes could have been more interesting if Edgar Wright directed them. I think Edgar Wright wanted to incorporate the mix of the MCU, but they wouldn't let him rewrite his own scenes or whatever. They had to bring in a team, and it just felt like for him not his movie anymore. Or something like that. Also, I think under politics, the weaponizing of Hank Pym's Pym particles. Okay, that's Hydra in the Ten Rings as well. He's also a Ten Rings guy. Had the tattoo somewhere. When I put under character actors or whatever, Scott is trying to be not. I have nothing else to say. Scott is trying to not do crime anymore. Yeah, that's the thing. I put Hank tells Scott to be the Ant-Man. What scene is that? There's two different ones, right? Whatever the one I could just look back at it and I'll edit it and whatever. I must have been very motivated by this. Isn't there two different scenes like that? Ant-Man's kind of fun. He shrinks a bit. He shrinks down a little bit and he shrinks back up. It's kind of fun. I also made tapes. Alright, let's move on. Now we have Captain Marvel. Ooh, this one's what's the politics in this? There is no politics. Actually, you know what's not in here that everybody complains about? Battle of the Sex. There is none of it. Why do people keep on saying this shit? The storm is right there. The storm is angry at people. Did you hear that? The sky is angry at you guys. You dumb mother effers. There is nothing like Battle of the Sex in here. There's something that's briefly mentioned, but it's never in the movie itself. And also, there's a refugees, whatever, from the Skrulls. Oh, you wanna know about the character of Carol Danvers? Carol doesn't emote. No, wait. I didn't put emote. I put Carol does not have... Carol not holding back emotions. Stay true to yourself. I put the subtext is that the subtext is a gay coming out story. So the reason why I'm saying this because Brie Larson was talking about how emotions about like in interviews about like how women are like held back with emotions. But yeah, that is true. Like if you're in the 50s or the 60s, like I don't know about the emotions of the 90s, whatever. Even though I was born in the 90s, I don't remember the 90s. I remember shows in the 90s. I don't remember anything else. But like I did do a lot of research about the women of the 50s and 60s after I watched the Queen's Gambit, like how their lives are like miserable and like held back, whatever. Um, yeah, it's like what? Yeah, this like it takes place in the 90s. I know there's a lot of like things that are like being held back from people, like the flight stuff. Like her, like, she's a pilot. She was a former pilot, but like she doesn't remember that. Like if they touched down about like some of these stuff that she's met, like Brie Larson's mentioning in the interview, like a lot better, I think the movie would be a lot more better because like there's nothing much else to say about the character or like the story about the character. It's like there's a blank state and there's like she has like I know she's holding back emotion there because that's what the Kree said, holding back your emotions. Like the reason why they're saying it because like, she has like superpowers or whatever. He said that they gave her the superpowers. It's on her the little thingy whatever. Like if she releases more emotions, she'll burst out into Super Saiyan form. But and that's her right now. She's at the storm. Oh, outdated stuff. It's the 90s. Oh, my favorite scene is like when she like after like that brief like they listen to like messages from like the radio whatever of her flying that super jet whatever, and she doesn't know what to do, what's happening. Like that's the only scene that I like. Also, this only scene that doesn't look like a Marvel movie. And also, it's fun to watch sometimes. All the her doing the superhero stuff is fun. And also, it's the only Marvel book I probably read. I read Civil War, actually. I read the book Civil War, not the Civil War. I didn't like it. I like the Captain Marvel book, but like she emotes in that. The character does not emote in the movie. There's a little bit more character in this book right here, than in the actual movie. Her character is that she can't remember her character. That's the whole entire movie. And the ending's fun. She destroys a lot of ships. And also, like, the only Marvel movie where it does not have a love interest. See, I think that's why... Not why she's gay, probably. I think that's why Brie Larson thinks she's gay. And that's why she's like Brie Larson and Emma Thompson is like shipping them together. But yeah, go Queen. It's also still Pride Month, so yeah. Okay, here we go. But yeah, what was I saying about this? She's gay, or whatever, or not secretly gay, or that's what the emotions about, like coming out, being yourself. Yeah, it's a gay story. Yeah, it's still Captain Marvel's a little gay, or Brie Larson wants her to be gay. It's fine. Pride Month. Or related Pride Month, whatever. When I'm uploading this like during Black Widow, so yeah. So it's Pride Month's over for that time. All right, yeah. Enough of this. Dun 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 dun. Oh wait, the only a song in this that works is "I'm Just a Girl" song. Scene, whatever. Everything else is out of place. Only thing that works is "I'm Just a Girl," because it goes with the fight, what's happening, whatever. It feels like it mixes well. I feel like they got James Gunn like, hey, we like your idea for songs and movies. Can you help us with a little bit? It's like, oh, okay. Boom. I do wonder if they got him. So I am getting really hungry right now. I can eat a meal fit for a king. The next one's Black Panther. I'm sorry, it's not a top 10, okay? Let me explain! Yeah, so like, the politics of Wakanda is like, Wakanda does not share its secret technology with the world. And that's why Killmonger comes and like wants to destroy the world or whatever he wants to do. Conquer the world, whatever he was going to. I know his motivations were like, he was angry at Wakanda for not helping the world. That's what his thing was. But it's also why was at the end of the movie. This movie is, first of all, this was one of the movies that I was shocked by. That I didn't like it during the third time around, because I did see this movie twice in theaters. Theaters. Okay. I really liked it the first time viewing it and second time, but like viewing it for the third time, watching it, like absorbing it more. The better, like it's two movies. One is like a movie trying to find Claw or tracking down Claw, whatever he's doing, and then the next movie is just like the better movie, where like someone from the outside takes over a kingdom that's outsider takes over, and he's not part. He's a descendant, but not part of them technically. He's an outsider still. That's when the movie gets interesting, and then it's just like the next 30 minutes or less or more, 40 minutes. It's like, why couldn't that be the rest of the movie? Why couldn't he just drop off Claw from the beginning? And also Claw, he's just too weird. I remember watching him from the cartoon. I don't think he's that weird. I think he's weird because what Joss Whedon did to him. Because he was introduced in Age of Ultron, and he was weird. He was talking about cuttlefish or whatever. And yeah. And also, like, we get to see more of T'Challa because we didn't see that much of him in Civil War. So they start a new trend. Instead of copying Tony Stark, they copy Captain America. He's just like Captain America. He's just like a clone of Steve Rogers. He's just like hardworking, good honor, whatever, like that. Yeah, he's Captain America now. Or that's the new mold for our main characters now. Just make everyone Captain America instead of like Tony Stark. Because I think being a good citizen or a good hard worker or a good king, whatever, is the better choice to instead of having like a snarky, sarcastic guy. Because not everyone can be Tony Stark. Not everyone can be Robert Downey Jr. I guess you can try and copy Chris Evans' performance, or not performance, but like style of like being modest, truth, justice, whatever. Oh wait, they say what are those in this movie? That's the outstated stuff. And also they have like the 90s and say like Greta Jones. Yeah, there's a little bit of the 90s. I say Greta Jones because it's the 90s and whatever. Am I saying that? Gretchen, whatever. I don't know. I must right these wrongs. One of the afterlife scene or whatever. Because I remember I write down a sentence and I'm like, what sentence is that? Is it the scene? I'll look at it later and I'll play a clip, whatever. This is my favorite scene, whatever. This is what I was like very sad by this. So I was very like, why is it not higher? Why is it lower now? I'm also disappointed by myself. Like I can't deny what I see, or I can't like, stay in that same mindset. I have to like expand upon my mindset. So like that's why it's if I were like a generic guy making all top 10s during that time, it would probably be up higher. But like I'm not that kind of person, so it's at this ranking. It's number 15. I have to deal with it, but I have to deal with it, and you have to deal with it too. It's my video. All the stars are no show. Is it all stars a no show or is it all stars a show? I can't. All the stars are no show. I keep on saying all the stars are no show. It's not that. Welcome to the revolution. Number 14 is American Man. Actually, Captain America: The First Avenger. Yay! Politics. It's World War II, and there's propaganda everywhere. And that's probably why Steve joins the military, or wants to fight in the military. He's a scrawny guy. Not everyone can fight in the military. Oh, and also Steve is used as propaganda as well. A lot of propaganda. This is probably the most political one, probably. Under characters and actors, whatever, Steve is a good man. There we go. Oh, the good man scene, when he's drinking the liquor, or he can't drink the liquor with Dr. Ivan, whatever his name was. Oh, there's also all the other stuff. It's the 40s. And Dancing Girls as well. I like Peggy. I mean, that's all I can say. It's still just like, a favorite movie of mine. I just let's love and yeah. I think I said everything because it is political, and the political stuff are the most interesting part because like he is not brainwashed, brainwashed by, but yeah, we're motivating people to like fight in our army to go overseas, sacrifice our lives, and he wants to do the same thing, and then he's being used as that for other people. Like, he punches Hitler a lot of times. It's also very silly because it also has a bunch of lasers. I mean, it is a comic book story, so of course it will have lasers, but like lasers in 40s is also very, very silly. Like, they extract energy from a cube, so I guess it makes sense. It's also a comic book. I also said I said comic book. Yeah, it's a comic book. It's whatever. It's just one of those movies that like okay, it's very political, and then it's a comic book movie as well. So I guess have fun with it. There we go. Dun 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 dun. That one's actually pretty short. So the next one is Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's my favorite Disney movie. Yeah, so the politics in this one is Scott under house arrest for working with a criminal, Captain America at the time, and the Winter Soldier. Also, under characters and actors, I put everyone's funny. There we go. Oh, here's something interesting I put under characters and actors. It shows how much love for your immediate family. You're willing to go the distance for them. Simple and easy. Yeah, this one was like, from the first time I watched it, I was like, it's a Disney movie and a Marvel movie, whatever. And then, like, the second time, I'm like, it's a Disney family movie. It's pretty good. It's fun. It's like it's a break from the giant chaos of it all. Because Infinity War or Thor Ragnarok, how you were watching this, like in order, it's like it's a break from like all the chaos, like the chaos. It's just a break. It's like this and Captain Marvel are like a break. Because I watched these two back to back before Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. No spoilers. Yeah, yeah. It was like a fun break, fun time, whatever. Oh, my favorite thing is Scott wants a partner. That's Angeline Lilly's Wasp. Or Hope. What's her name? So also for under WTF, I put so many young CGI faces. There's a lot. There's like 3 of them this time. Last one was like 1. Oh, and also under WTF, the Winter Soldier and the Ghost never crossed paths because the Ghost was an assassin for S.H.I.E.L.D. How come the assassins never crossed each other? What's happening here? Also, the Ghost theme sounds similar to the Winter Soldier theme. It's just weird. Why didn't they cross each other? Wouldn't they see another assassin? Or like spies among spies, or whatever. Maybe they didn't know about Ghost either. Okay. That's the part I'm like, what is this? Under WTF anyway. Alright. Bomb! Alright, the next one up is Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes, I said Spider-Man Homecoming. And I know, it's not on Disney Plus. Did I pirate it? No, dummy! I bought it! I also bought Little Woman. I didn't want to buy the Hulk? Yeah. I'd rather buy Spider-Man movies than Incredible Hulk movies. Alright. I guess the politics in this is black market sales, because secret arms dealers. That's what Adrian Toomes is. Batman, Michael Keaton. Yeah, that's the politics of it. And also they don't like the big Avengers guys, Tony Stark. They're not like a world-bending threat. It's just like he just stopped being black market people. That's the movie. That's it. Yeah, simple as that. The big climax is it's on a plane and it crashes and he saves the villain because the villain's jetpack or wing pack is gonna explode. Simple as that. Also, so under characters and actors is during during when Peter has no technical suit, he was more responsible. But when he was giving, but when you give a kid an advanced suit, that that responsibility might go away. Oh wait, well I think what I meant was during when he had no suit before Tony gave him the suit in Civil War, he was probably more responsible with his superhero stuff. But now he has this advanced suit. He thinks he is like something else now because he has like fancy stuff. So here's some fun for outdated stuff. Peter Parker has an iPhone 4 in like 2017, 2016, whatever it takes place. I think 2016 probably. But yeah, like, iPhone 4 is like from like 2013, 14, whatever. Yeah, not a Sony product actually. Yeah, that's weird. Also, it is an iPhone 4, not Sony iPhone, whatever you call it. I don't know what phone Sony phones are. Oh, my favorite scene is when Peter Parker realizes that he is Spider-Man. The giant rock scene, whatever. It's not the scene where he gets yelled at by Tony Stark. That's a Tony Stark moment, not a Peter Parker moment. Oh, here's something fun for under WTFs is this feels like an indie teen movie as opposed to the mainstream teen movie. Like if you like watch like any of these mainstream teen movies, like they're always like kind of like loud. I want to say loud, but like not over excessive, like over dramatic, whatever is that the word? If you watch the Sam Raimi ones, it feels like it could be like American Pie-ish, if you want to say like that. But no, this feels like it could be like same thing with The Edge of 17 or what's another one? What's another one? Lady Bird, same director of Lady Bird. Keep on bringing about Little Woman. I really like Little Women. Oh, Love Simon. Like something like that instead of like a kissing booth movie, like to feel that. Came out the same year, I think, right? Oh, the years are wrong in this one because remember the 8-year part. Even Batman says 8 years. It's been 8 years. It's in the movie. What? This is like something wrong with the script. Like, and also like 2 months as well. I thought Civil War happened in May. Like, came out with the dates. Apparently, it happened like July or August. Because Homecoming comes around like October. So Civil War had, because it said 2 months later when it shows like the Peter Parker flashback. Oh, whatever. There's like errors in this movie with Sony, not like I don't know what are the errors? Like it's a good movie, but like the errors, like the years, the months are the errors in the movie. Everything else, like Peter Parker, he's a teenager, he doesn't know what to do, whatever, or wants to do bigger stuff. That's what's great about the movie. It's just these weird errors. There's a year era and a month era. That's like error. That's the only thing that's like whatever. Like, why is this here? Stop it. Stop messing up your movies, Sony. Even your good ones. Yeah. It's a fun, awkward teen movie. It's a superhero movie as well. That's why it's number 2. Let's go! Like they just chose a song from the 2000s. Just Watch probably wouldn't know any songs from 2010. I wanna be a millionaire so freaking bad. That's probably the only one he probably knows, because he is going to be a millionaire. John Watts made $1 billion with Spider-Man Far From Home. Alright, number 11. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ooga shaka, ooga shaka. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, everyone, I love these assholes. That's the only thing I put for characters, but actually I can say more. Let's say, like Peter Quill. His Walkman is his personal treasure. The only thing that he has of his past, that he has of his mother, it'll come back to me. I should have wrote down stuff. I was just enjoying the movie. That's what was happening. What's wrong with me? So I put under politics, Ronan is terrorizing planets. That's the only thing it's like politics, I guess, whatever. Yeah, it's like background stuff for this movie. Oh, the 80s, yeah, that's right. It's just a bunch of 80s stuff. It mostly comes from Peter Quill because he, as I said, he's like latched on to him. Like that's the only thing that he has of Earth. That's the only thing he has of his memory. That's the only thing from his childhood that he can actually cherish. He's the only one that has an excuse in this world to hold on to the 80s instead of like everyone else from the pop culture stuff. Yeah. Let go. And it also shows like the freakiness of the Marvel universe. Like it just splash out like all this like info dump in the middle of the movie where it talks about like those giants, whatever, celestials, right? Yeah, and how they created Infinity Stones. That was freaky. That was weird. Also, a talking raccoon and kind of a talking tree as well. You also got a guy that doesn't understand sarcasm, whatever. You also got a guy that doesn't understand sarcasm. And you got a crazy assassin girl. What a bunch of assholes. Yeah, they are a bunch of assholes. What else? Oh, the give a shit scene where like they're all discussing what to do because of Yondu. Like they want to like stop Ronan, and Yondu's there, and like they're discussing something. Well, what to do, how to stop Ronan. They need Yondu. I think, yeah, that's what's happening. It's like a really good bonding moment. I think of that movie, that scene. That's why I like it. Like discussing of what to do with Ronan, how to like, because he has, oh yeah, he has the Infinity Stone. So they're discussing how to work as a team, how to work with the Ravagers. Yeah, that's a great scene. And showing their like I guess new team dynamic, how like they're different paths, or whatever, and then they learn to work together. This is like the start of like the found family stuff with them. So like this is the beginning. Obviously the first movie, so yeah. And the second one, I'll talk about the second one and I'll get to it. But yeah. Dun 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 dun. I can't sing. I'm talking a lot here, so. Dun 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 dun. I also can't get copyrighted. Do 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 do. It sounds probably bad. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Right? Yeah, that's how the song goes. With a Ninja Turtle reference too now. So this is the WTF and just some fun stuff. Right here, which is the top 10 era of it now. You can't really see it because I did in pencil. I can't see it. It's on camera. So see it? Yeah, there you go. Number 1 in the middle because it's number 1. Oh, and ignore the period blood on here. Ignore that. That was a mistake. I'm using Gundam markers, so yeah. If you know Gundam markers, they spill paint sometimes. Why are you using Gundam markers? Why are you using Gundam markers? I want to use Gundam markers. That's the only marker that I have. So, number 10. What is it? Is it Spider-Man Far From Home? Is it Iron Man 3? Thor the Ragnarok? No. It's Avengers. It's not in my top 5. That's what everyone puts it in. Well, I'm not everyone. Okay? Avengers is still good. That's why it's still the top 10. Alright, let's look at some notes. Oh. So, politics. Okay, the only politics I put down is like Cap learns that the government is not that great because they have the Hydra weapons, and also Tony Stark was digging into Hydra as well. Yeah, or they're storing weapons to like recreate weapons. That's what I mean. They do it all the time. They steal weapons to like re-engineer them, and that's what happens in our world. I also put Captain America is the goody two shoes, while Iron Man is a rebel. Yeah, I think the only two characters that they actually expand upon are Tony and Cap. Even though Cap is a little bit bland in this movie, Thor has nothing. The other two are just there. Oh, and there's Incredible Hulk too. Science bros. I mean, it's still good. Like it's just like okay. Oh, the first hour is boring, or like the first hour, and then like the second hour gets more interesting. It starts getting more like a superhero movie. So it's like a culmination of the first like 5 films, like an ending to this first chapter of Phase 1. It's still good. It's like, well, thing about the first hour, it feels like Joss Whedon is stepping back a bit with this movie instead of going forward, because it does feel like a movie from the 2000s a little bit, instead of like how with Iron Man and Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, those movies felt like it was going forward with the superhero genre, and like all the other movies like the Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four movies are like staying at rut. This movie feels like, at least the first hour of it, feels like in that rut of like just 2000s superhero movies. Well, at least the third act feels like a more modern movie. With the special effects, the CGI, making it like realistic instead of being phony, kind of like how in the other like in the early 2000s it was a lot of phoniest. Oh yeah, so favorite scene. The scene where Tony talks to Loki about like, you angered us and now we avenged Coulson. I mean, it's a great scene. It's like the best. Oh, outdated stuff. Oh yeah, it goes on outdated stuff. The 2000 stuff. Joss Whedon again. Well, because it is. And the last of the blue lasers. So yeah, so this movie has a blue laser. Captain America has a blue laser. Thor has like a gold or orange laser, and the first Iron Man has a blue laser. I just noticed that. The Incredible Hulk has no lasers. I mean, he does drop from the sky, so that doesn't count. Well, it doesn't count the lasers, but something happens. Dun 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 dun. Ah man, I forgot to. Shit. Oh, that's upside down actually. I want to fix it. Okay, now we're getting Spider-Man Far From Home. It's number 9. So I do think John Watts, or Josh Watts? John Watts. Yeah. Josh Watts or John Watts? I'm asking Baby Yoda. What is it? What is it? He doesn't know because he can't talk. I think it's John Watts. Yeah, okay, John Watts. I think he outdid himself in this one. I still think that. I said that last time, I think, too. Yeah, so, like, for politics, which is the bigger thing, which is, like, I guess, a new thing for politics in, like, in this universe is, like, superheroes are the new thing to be a superhero that people will hear you. People will see you or hear you. Like almost like a celebrity thing, like a YouTuber. That's what Mysterio did, Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. Trying to be a fake superhero, saying he's from another dimension. I guess that's politics for this world. I'm assuming it. Oh. let's do outdated stuff because this is right now. I know this is I know this is politics. I wanted to get to the characters, but like something interesting for outdated stuff. You know why? Because this era, the Spider-Man, takes place in 2023. So everybody's outdated! Because everyone's been snapped or blipped or whatever. So, like, the character of, like, Peter Parker has, like, more responsibility than he did before. Thanks to a crazy man that's giving him the most expensive glasses or high-tech glasses ever. Saying that he could be the next big superhero. It's a lot of responsibility for Peter Parker that's trying to be a kid, because he is a kid still, and trying to be, I guess, the next Tony Stark or next superhero. That I like, because like I think, did Tony Stark ruin this kid's life? Yes. He's ruining everyone's life. He ruins Jake Gyllenhaal's life, Mysterio, by stealing his technology. He can come up with his own technology. I don't know why he needs to steal someone else's. You mean an Iron Man suit? So why do you guys why you gotta steal someone else's? Come on. So yeah, it's the Peter Parker is trying to be two things, but he wants to be this thing, which is the kid part. He should not get bitten by that spider. Be careful, Pio. Be careful from being bitten by a spider. Oh, I guess the only WTF is like he tried to kill one of his classmates by accident because instead of like saying eliminate the text or like from the phone, he said the computer or whatever his what's his name? I forget the name of the Edith, whatever it was, right? Said, would you like to eliminate him? And he said, yes. What he should have said, I would like to delete, eliminate, or, yeah, whatever, a text from his phone. That's what he should have said. Well, he's a kid, so yeah, he makes mistakes. That's why we like him. Instead of being a weird adult trying to look like a kid. He was like 28. That movie, Toby boy. So the next one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. At first, I thought it was just okay. Not better than the first one. Now, second time around, or actually third time around, I did see this movie twice. I think it's better than what I thought before. Maybe because the reason why I thought the first one was better, because I said it doesn't have the heart of the first one, when it actually does have the heart of the first one. I'm like, what is this shit? Why am I thinking this? I should have saw it back to back. Instead of like just watching it, like I don't know, like during the time, instead of like I only watched Guardians of the Galaxy like in 2014 like a bunch of times, and nowhere else. Like I should have just watched it back to back so I can get the feeling, get in the groove of the Guardians. I'm like singing the songs, a wham, bam, la la la. And a lot of other people have the same experience that I do. Like, I was like baffled by this. Like, what? Why does this happen? Like, what a bunch of other people as well. From like, well, the one that most popular is Lindsay Ellis. I watched her video on it. It's like I have the same experience, but like not her like her father stuff, whatever. But yeah, it's just I just have the same experience from watching it the first time. Yeah, it's okay. Watching it the second time, same opinion, and like third time, it's great. But I put under politics, I guess. So like the leader of the Ravagers, like being mad at Yondu for like, doing child trafficking for like ego. That's like I guess the politics of that one. I also put everyone's in the good, but in a good way for characters. Everyone's but in a good way. Oh yeah, and this is also touched upon like the found family, how like everyone's just really close to each other, even though it has been like I think like just 3 to 4 months because it's supposed to still be like in 2014, in late 2014. It just shows how like they're just interconnected, like how he passed around baby Groot, like he's the actual son to them, like, to everyone. They argue a lot, but at the end of the day, they are family. Like Fast and the Furious, I don't watch those movies, so don't ask me about that. Oh, outdated stuff. It's the 80s again. Oh, and WTFs, what the fuggy? Robots, prostitutes. Are those? And like you think the favorite scene will probably be like where Yondu dies. No, it's the one after. Yes. I actually no. Here's the thing about this. I forgot about this scene because everyone just keeps on posting the same shit. That scene, that scene, that scene where Yondu dies. He may be your daddy, but he wasn't your father. Or I forgot the other scene, the funeral scene, the Yondu funeral scene. I'm like, why did I forget this? How did I forget this? It's so emotional. I just forgot because I'm a dumbass. I like scenes like this. Shakara, I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, but I like touchy scenes like this. It's like similar to the Iron Man 2 scene where Tony's watching his dad talk about how he loves him, whatever. How he's the greatest creation he made. I guess compared it to that, but yeah. I'm just frustrated with myself. Oh well. Moving on. Wham! Bam! Sham-a-lam! I can't sing. So, 7 is Iron Man 3, y'all! I like Iron Man 3 because it proves that Tony Stark is Iron Man. The mind. He said that in the press conference with the government in Iron Man 2 that he's Iron Man, even though I did say he did have a machine. The Iron Man suit is a machine. It's one of the two. He is Iron Man, and the machine's Iron Man. But at the end of the day, who made the Iron Man suit? Tony Stark. I mean, yeah, he's still making weapons of mass destruction. So politics is terrorism. Always bad thing. I also thought this was strange. Like the Mandarin, right? Yeah, I know. We're getting him again. Or in Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, whatever. Yeah. But here's the thing. He talks about, like how American just copies, like Japanese or other cultures' things, right? And Americanizes them. Like, when I think about it, isn't the Mandarin also like an imitation of a Chinese thing? Like he's the Fu Manchu, whatever stereotype from the original comic books, right? It's an odd thing because he talks about the fortune cookies, he talks about the Chinese theater, which are American things, and the character himself, even though he's not played by an actual Asian, played by Ben Kingsley, is American product. That wrapped me around my head because I just never thought about that before. Like, yeah, he is an American product because I thought that myself. No one says that in the movie, so I'm saying that. I know it's also not, he's not the true villain. It was just like, what was the other guy's name? The weird scientist guy that wanted Pepper. Like, he was like the Mandarin in this movie. Oh, outdated stuff. Y2K. Remember the Y2K in the beginning? Or they're talking about Y2K, whatever. Some of the emotional weight is scrapped. Like when, that's under WTFs, like when we thought we were gonna lose Pepper. Like that was like Tony's sad moment and moment to like kick the not Justin Hammer. What's the fake Mandarin's butt, whatever. And like she just pops out of nowhere, like he saves him, and it's like, oh, you're alive still. You could have come back anytime. You're like a superhuman, whatever. Now that I mean, the other stuff with Tony being Iron Man, the mind, not the machine. Like that stuff is great. It's fun. It's action packed. It's great. Screw the Iron Man suit. He is Iron Man. That is actually my favorite scene. Well, when Tony just throws out his arc reactor. He went to Asia to get that scrap metal out of him. My favorite scene, or like yeah, him just throwing it, yeah. Because no matter what, I am Iron Man. And also, here's the thing about this. It is the 5-year anniversary of the MCU at this point. They have like that, like moments of greatest hits of like the Iron Man movies, or from I guess the first Avengers. Like also like the first Avenger, probably a scene from there, whatever. The Avengers Endgame does the exact same thing, but more like less cool, like more like, hurrah! Just notice that because when we watched this movie, dun you're not here this again, dun 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 dun. It's not no Led Zeppelin or whoever that band. I don't know bands. I only know Taylor Swift and Little Women. Alright, let's move along to number 6. It's Thor, the Good Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi's movie. That sounds like what Taika Waititi would say. Okay, let's just start with the character stuff. So for characters and actors, I put Chris Hemsworth has good comedic timing. Who knew that? It's been a bland brick of rocks. Also put, for the character of Thor, he never had anything like life-changing, like losing his hammer. Oh yeah, Morty too, okay. Did I pick it up earlier? I don't know. Like, he lost his hammer, like in the first movie, but like, he gained it back at the end because he learned to be selfless. Like, that's good, but like, it's nothing like major, like with Tony, like having his machines taken from him. Also with Quill, his Earth life is taken from him. Steve, his past life, his 1940s life was taken from him. Nothing has ever like just been taken from him, like and like can't gain it back. His weapon, his strongest thing, that thing that makes him who he is, I guess, is taken from him, and he has to learn that. I guess because his lineage of the Thor Force, I think that's what it's called, or the Odin Force, or the God Force, whatever. He's a Super Saiyan, whatever kind of powers he has, is within the king of Asgard, whatever. Whoever's the king, probably. Unless his father should have told him about this before, then he probably wouldn't have to go through all of it. Or unless he has to like find it, his king powers or whatever it is. And also, it's fun all around. And outdated stuff, it's the 80s again, but it's not the 80s, it's outer space, but yeah, it's the 80s because it's, for some reason, it just feels like an 80s movie, right? That's what Taika Waititi's doing, right? You met him, right? You met Taika, right? Say something, Baby Yoda! Yeah, I know his name's like Goku or whatever, but I don't care. It's Baby Yoda. Yeah, so I like seeing where like Thor is like talking to like Odin like through like a vision of the afterlife, whatever it is, and he's talking about he's not good enough, but like his father believes in him that he is good enough. He is stronger than him. I put for WTF the clash of old characters of Thor with the new characters. Like, I mean, that's not that much. Like, it's just Hela. Why did I put that? What am I stupid? If the old characters talk with the new characters, I think that would be great with Valkyrie, Korg. I think that would be better interaction because like the old characters are kind of boring. I'm glad Hela killed them. Yeah, slow down. Ah. Ah. Ah, did I get paint on it? Oh my god, my paint or marker or whatever I had. 5 more to go. Number 5, Iron Man. And let's start without this stuff first because I've been saving this one. Where is it? Where is it? I gotta read it out loud. Pepper's red hair. She has blonde hair now. She doesn't dye it or wear a wig anymore. I guess it was a dirty blonde or whatever, morphed into a regular blonde. She's like, I'm not gonna dye my hair anymore. I don't want to do this. I think the last time she had red hair was in Iron Man 3. Also MySpace. Remember that? It was like Facebook, but it was MySpace. It was another Facebook. Remember all the MySpace drama in middle school? I wasn't part of that because I didn't have that. It's a car. Go away, car. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's just talk over it. I also remember this movie a lot because I was in the front row when I saw this movie. Me and my brother and my cousin supposed to see this movie with one of my mom's friends, a kid. My mom's friend's kid, because he had no friends, whatever, or something like that. So we saw it with him. We saw the movie with him, and we don't talk to each other at all. Just one time. But yeah, I was in the front row of this freaking movie. I never been in the front row. The screen is just huge. I mean, you have some space, but like, oh my god, it's like, I mean, your peripheral vision is like, you have to like, I mean, I guess you can look at it right here. I was in the middle, so I could like see something. It's still a bit vague, but I still didn't like being in the front row because it's better if you just have it back. It was opening night. I went there, but yeah, I have very fond memories of Iron Man 1, I guess. I mean, it's the first Marvel movie. You think it's just going to be another movie because like, oh, another superhero movie. I seen him team up with Spider-Man cartoon. And probably have to have a crossover with Spider-Man. Oh, too late. Well, that lasted long. So, like, under politics, Stark Industries builds weapons for the government. He's an arms dealer, so I think I don't know how arms dealers work, but I think Iron Man 2 kind of solved it. Do they sell the weapons to individual bases? Whoever wants to buy it. I think that's how it works. I'm kind of curious, but I'm also not curious that much about it. Yeah, so he builds weapons for the government, and also terrorists steal his weapons. That's not good. But anyways, let's move on to characters and actors. Robert Downey Jr.'s Robert Downey Jr.'s ad-lib is great. I do like Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper as a supporting character. Like, she's like the first normal person to be with this weird, crazy person that's like being with this crazy person that wants to put your hand inside his chest, and he just relaxed with it. I mean, she's like, "Whoa!" He's still so calm because I know it's the fake body. Like I've seen the behind the scenes, but like, at least put a little bit more like effort. I guess it's not a big deal to him. I guess. Jeff Bridges is a weak villain. Yeah, he is. I already said MySpace for outdated stuff. Oh, shit! Remember this? Remember Burger King as a product placement? Remember Burger King ads for all these superhero movies? I think Iron Man is the only one that has it in the movie. Like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, always, Daredevil probably, always had like tie-ins to like Burger King all the time. That happened throughout the 2000s. I think McDonald's was the one that had the DC one. The Batman. Or the Batman Begins in The Dark Knight. I say this because he eats a Whopper or American cheeseburger. He says American cheeseburger, but I'm betting it's a Whopper. Like, who gets a cheeseburger and not a Whopper at Burger King? You can go get a Whopper with cheese, and maybe want a Whopper with cheese after I watch this movie. Product placement works. He has like 4. I mean, he has to eat one in the car, and he's finishing. He's finishing one. He takes one out of the bag, puts it in his pocket, and then as he's like walking around, he eats another. He's eating another one. No, wait, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. No, he comes out of the car, he eats one, then goes in the bag when Happy gives him the bag, and then he's eating that one when he's going to the press conference, and then he finishes that one, and he takes out another one. How many Whoppers did he have? He has to have like at least probably 5 or 4. I'm just curious about this Whopper eating. Whoppers are pretty filling too. Oh, and also this movie is the start with the blue lights in the sky. I like the scene where Tony talks to Yang Xing. That's his name again. I can't pronounce the words or names or whatever. And that scene about don't waste your life, whatever, pointing his chest at him, whatever. Yeah, that one's a good scene. Or, oh wait, actually there's another one. Hold on. Tony contemplates about destroying the 10 Wings. He sees it on the news. He's contemplating about like he's just frustrated and just destroys all his like stuff like out of like anger and frustration for people using his technology, using his weapons. Yeah, it's great. Great scene. Alright, I think that's enough. I am Iron Man. Need more tape. Da-na-na. I think that's the only time they use that song. Da-na-da-da-da-da-da. I am falling down. Da-na-da-da-da-da-da-da. 4. No, wait, it's 5. Damn it. 5. Alright, it's the final 4. It's not like a basketball thing. Sounds like familiar to me. Yeah, the final 4. I think it is. NBA playoffs or like college basketball, probably. How do I know this? I don't watch basketball. But anyway, the final 4. The only movies left are the Russo brothers movies. Yes, they are in the final 4. Which is it? Which will be the number 1? It's Little Women. Yeah, but anyways, it's the Russo Power Hour or Party Hour. Power Hour. Let's get to it. Let's start off. It's Captain America, the Winter Soldier. We all know who the politics in this one are. The Hydras inside the government itself and controlling everything, a lot of things. And controlling a lot of things. I can't read it. Yeah, that's the big thing that happened. Like it's a spy espionage movie. It's fun. It's thrilling. It's really good. It's one of the best. And like Steve is just trying to adjust his new life because his old life was taken from him. Like, it's not his era. Like what do? Like you just pop into this new era. It's like my life has been taken from him. You're already like a soldier, but like be a soldier for propaganda. It's like he's already like a soldier, so I guess he becomes an agent now. Not have like a restful life. He could have retired, but like he's a super soldier, so he just does agent stuff now, spy stuff. He tries to a little bit with Sharon, but end up Sharon being like also an agent too as well. He got his best buddy, Black Widow, saying, like, you should go out with this person, you go out with that person. Oh, outdated stuff. Steve's outdated because he's from the 40s. Every character just... This is under WTF, so every character just says the dialogue so very... Wait, what the hell did I write? Casually. That's what I said. I say this because I say this because it's a comic book. I say this because it's in a comic book movie. Like, I guess I'm saying, like, it's because it's just so stupid sometimes. Some of these things that's happening. It's a spy movie as well, so I guess, or people are just casually saying things like whatever. I don't know, idiot. Also, his past gets him. Like Bucky just comes back. I will say Rose. I was gonna say Rosie, but no, it's Peggy. Peggy's still there, but she's like old and had Alzheimer's, so she can't like be with him. Like it's still like sad. A lot of us knew somehow there's some kind of time. A lot of us knew that there was somehow going to bring Peggy back or something like that. Because like, where's her husband in that photos? In that photo right there, where's her husband? It's just her kids. And also, where are Steve's kids? In this time, I guess they're secret because Steve is also a secret. All right. Oh, I have a low battery. I have to change it now. Okay, and probably change this thing. Memory cards. I forgot to put this on before I take a break. If you notice, the camera is a little bit different, probably. I don't know. I'm talking about these movies a lot, so yeah. It's number 4. Alright, next up is Captain America Civil War. I know what the next two are. So, like, the politics in this one is the Sokovia Accords. Like, heroes are, like, free to do whatever they want. They're, like, free agents. The Avengers are, like, yeah, no one controls us. And then, like, the government, after, like, all this other stuff happened, like, this, thing in Nigeria? It's not, yeah. Somewhere in Africa. I forget where it was. And then there's also Sokovia. And the Battle of New York and the Fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. is... those were the two that are just like, what? No. The weakest part of Captain America Civil War is the Soviet Accords. Everything else, with Captain Rogers and Iron Man, are the strong parts. It should have been about them. That's what I like about Captain America Civil War, is they kind of switch sides. Like, Captain America was for the government, and Tony was against the government. Well, at first he was for the government, and then he saw his things were being used by other countries. He saw people using his weapons, which he did not like that, and he actually went against the government, like being a free guy, stick it to the man, like doing the things the government doesn't actually do, like destroy them, like, or kill the terrorists. And then, like, after like the Age of Ultron, he switched to the government. I mean, the government could have used Steve in this, like, Accords, but like instead of like putting him in boot camp because he had the super soldier serum, they made him as a propaganda piece. That's on their fault. They should have, like, that's because he has super soldier serum. He still needs to be taught to be a soldier. He was never taught to be a soldier. He was juiced up, used as propaganda to get more people and make them soldiers. And he never had any, like, proper, like, sir training, whatever you want to say. Getting yelled at a lot. And he was yelled at in the beginning, but then he needs to be propaganda piece. He needs to be propaganda. Favorite scenes, it's any scene where, like, Steve and Tony are disagreeing with each other. It's just, that's the magic of it. It could have been something else. Like, it doesn't have to be like the actual Civil War. It could just be like, I still really like it. I still think it's a good movie. It's just the Civil War of it is the weakest part. I still really like Tony's arc and Steve's arc. Everyone else is just there. Like, the reason why Steve doesn't want to, like, be part of Accord because he's still looking for an assassin as his friend. And if if the government gets a hand on him, then he can't be free. That's what Steve is trying to do in this movie. That was what, at the end of The Winter Soldier, he was trying to find out what happened with him, and then like he's not. Well, Bucky did save him, and like, where is Bucky? Why is he not talking to me? Whatever. I put under WTFs. Well, what the Feige, or it feels like all the cool stuff in Captain America Civil War turned up a lot to the point where it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it is carryover. Am I talking about the scene where, like, was I writing this when this scene happened where, like, Steve is grabbing the helicopter? It just shows that he has super strength. I still really like Civil War. It's still, like, a great Captain America 3, great Iron Man 4, etc. I mean, yeah, it introduces Black Panther, which I think him as a supporting character was a lot better. Even Spider-Man as a supporting character, this is a minor supporting character, was a lot better. It was also like set up for those movies as well. It's funny. Think about that. That another franchise tried to do the same thing. It came out first. Without this movie, we wouldn't have this movie, actually. If you know what Kevin Feige says sometimes. So number 2 is Thanos the movie. Yeah, I'm not calling it Infinity War because it's not really an Avengers movie. It's just disguised as an Avengers movie. It really is Thanos the movie. It's about Thanos. It's about a villain this time. The villain is the main character of an Avengers movie. That's so weird. I mean, like, nothing significant happens with the characters. It's just, and the only Avenger that has something significant to him, or significant to, like, story-wise, is Tony, because Tony has, like, nightmares about Thanos. Nightmares about his army coming to Earth. And also, like, this is the most character we got from a villain ever, besides Killmonger. Maybe Hela? Yeah, if we got, like, a little bit more of his backstory, we got a whole, like, character origin of a villain. Like how all these other movies were doing origin stories of heroes. All the Avenger stuff is just, like, flashy and, like, ooh, wow, Thor. Just, I know this is not Stormbreaker, but, like, it's what I got. He also does serve as a Thor sequel to Ragnarok, kind of. Like, we see Thor getting a little bit emotional, which he never really is emotional. He was always, like, this guy that's, like, 100% awesomeness, whatever. He gets to be more vulnerable over the last 2 movies he was in. We see nothing from Cap. I guess maybe Gamora a little bit. But overall, it is just the Thanos story featuring the Avengers. It's because everyone sees himself as the hero, and the hero is Thanos in the story. I remember, like, watching some interviews from the Russo brothers saying that this is Thanos' story, and I'm always, like, thinking about what does that mean. It's pretty vague, and then you watch the movie. Yeah, it is his story. I guess the politics in this is genocide! Because the world or the galaxies is too fully populated, and that's what we see in Gamora's flashback of Thanos just, like, devastating another race of people, or aliens, whatever you want to call it. Genocide! Never thought you'd see someone say genocide like that. Oh, here's some good outdated stuff. It's the 80s because of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Peter Quill does mention Footloose. If it's the greatest movie ever, it wasn't. Back to the Future is. I know Back to the Future is not mentioned in the movie, it's mentioned in Endgame, but I think Back to the Future is the greatest movie ever. Oh, the Tesseract and the Ether. Thanos destroys the Tesseract, and I never get to see the Ether be turned into a stone. How do you, like, what do you do? Like, it's a liquid thing. Do you freeze it? Do you put it in a fridge? Do you put it in like a little ice tray and freeze it? What? How did he? I'm just curious about that. I'm still like curious. How did it form? How did this liquid turn into a solid? I mean, you could do that with like freezing it. Can the space stone do something like that? Like, change the space around? I don't know. Oh, and WTFs are: is Thor a teenager? I mean, he looks like an adult, but he says he's like 1,500 years old. So if he says something like 2025, I would think he would be like an adult. But like 1,500, that seems like it equals teenager years. Man, they grow them big in Asgard, don't they? Right? So, oh, I mean, for favorite scene, I mean, there's a lot of great scenes in this, but since this is Thanos' movie, my favorite scene is when Thanos has his victory and looking at the sunset. He didn't mention that when he was talking to Doctor Strange about his victory. And what did he do? And he did exactly that at the end of the movie. Do 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 do. I do like the credits. It's the only movie where it's not like flashy of superheroes things everywhere. It just ends like a normal movie ends. So there's only one movie left. That's his Endgame. It's just great. You know, like, this movie doesn't really need to have like a third act battle. It was just really good on its own. But due to time travel and time travel being like icky sometimes, Thanos just shows up again. Thanos 2. I mean, if you watch Jack films, you know that. Because also, I put under politics. You know, the world is probably a little less political now, so there's nothing much. I also put under character and actors. This is probably the best acting out of all the characters. Like, everyone just, it's just so serious. I mean, what just happened was just, to everyone, was just tragic. I also put, everyone is really good at being sad. And Thor is my favorite part, because he is an emotional wreck. He is a guy who's always been 100% strong, calm, whatever. Like, he had many battles where he just was the victor. And this is the first one that he lost. Not just lost from being wounded. He had a different kind of wound this time. An emotional wound that you probably can't fix. That's why he's fat, and he uses humor and alcohol to escape. I don't know why people complain about Thor. People call him Big Lebowski, Bro Thor, Fat Thor. Like, he's an emotional wreck. Stop picking on Thor. Just stop it. I understand the reference. No, leave Thor alone. This is the best out of him in all the movies. He literal lost. I mean, he lost his hammer and gained a king's weapon, and then he lost his people, like the people of Asgard, and the people of the galaxy, or whatever, or the Earth, or he just tries to save. He just tries to save everyone, and he didn't. He didn't. He calls himself the strongest Avenger, which I believe he is. He couldn't stop Snap. He couldn't let go of his own ego from Infinity War. He had to say those last words to Thanos. You'll pay for that, or you'll die for that. Instead of going for the head or going for his arm, he just went to his chest to say one last word to him. He should have just thought of that. He had a magic glove. Like, come on, Thor. You should. Maybe he is 15 years old. You dumb teenager. Oh, outdated stuff. So under outdated stuff, I put dabs because the Hulk does a dab, and the old movies. We do travel to the older movies, the other timelines, which is the other movies. I also noticed something that because since Joss Whedon did a different aspect ratio for Avengers, and for this movie it's a different aspect ratio, and the color grading is also different. It's the same scene, but they changed the color grading a little bit. Just noticed something that's interesting. Also, the 70s. Remember we traveled to the 70s to get a Tesseract, another old thing? I put, for under WTFs, the quantum realm is very unpredictable. Because since, like, well, Hope Van Dyne, like, when she got out of the quantum realm, or was in the quantum realm, like, she was old, and Scott was still, like, himself. It was only 5 hours. They did mention something like it's very weird. So I guess for like 5 years, he was stuck in there for 5 hours. She was in a part where just real time. It's very strange. It is very strange. So I wonder what they're gonna do for that later on, since this is an endless void of movies. So obviously they're gonna do something different. Oh, so I put the color in this movie is not the color of all the other movies, not just the first Avengers, but all the other ones as well. I forgot to put scenes actually. I was thinking about like scenes when I like before I watched the movie. I do like I am Iron Man scene. Um, I guess that's my scene because it is Tony's like story, like from Iron Man 1 to Endgame. It's his story. So he was like this rebel at first, then tried to be a smart guy about like working as a team, whatever, something like that. In the middle, he was like the villain for Civil War. Try to be a mentor. Try to stop a giant purple alien. Yeah, this is his story. It's Tony's story. So I don't know who's the main character for the next phase. Uh, it was his story. Like I think Marvel should just end it, but they're endless. It's like bottomless fries. Like I also don't like Rhodey how he was making fun of Thor all the time. More not being nice to Thor. It's mostly Rhodey that's being mean to him. Well, what's wrong, Rhodey? Come on. It's not Tony. You can make fun of Tony. I don't care if you make fun of Tony. Just don't make fun of Thor, a fat guy. Cheese Whiz. Think he's dead. God. You need to be cool, Rhodey. Just keep making fun of Thor. Oh, I also really like Nebula in this movie too because well, she started out as a generic villain and then she became an actual character. And that's funny. I also like how this Nebula interacts with the old Nebula because the old Nebula was a generic villain. Also, where does this part of Gamora and Nebula take place? It's like a few days. I mean, when does Peter Quill go to sleep and like the Guardians movie starts the next day before the dun 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 dun. Was that day before? I'm guessing. That's a gun. Oh shit! I only had one popcorn when I was watching these movies. I was like planning on popping popcorn through the whole movies, but I only did it like once. I do have this popcorn butter to like make like movie popcorn. I didn't use it that much. I mean, I used it over last summer, but I didn't use it. But I didn't use it that much during this binging of Marvel movies. I only did it for Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think I did it for Volume 2. Oh well. Yeah, like Thor is suffering. He wants to like when they're deciding who the gauntlet to like snap, whatever. Thor was like, "Let me do it." He needs something. He needs a victory, like something champions to do, because he is a champion. After everyone got defeated by Thanos, Thor felt the most like broken out of everyone else. So he needed that snap. He needed to do that something heroic. Yeah, and then talk about Captain America not that much. Well, him and Tony make up. I guess that's it. I didn't grab my shield, actually. I have my shield. Oh my, the only thing I can probably think about that's interesting about Cap is, he did what Sam was doing, like the therapy stuff. He had a big loss when, he came out of the ice, so this is a big loss for everyone else. Everyone in the world's gone, or half gone. And he got his past back, I guess, like when he went to time travel. Everything was like, how did, oh my god, So I guess, because when he went back, the case was full of stones still. It was still the stones. Did he went to the ancient one, or why couldn't Stephen Strange just reverse it back into like the Tesseract, the Ether? What else? The Orb. How is he gonna put the Soul Stone back? I don't know. I do like him and Peggy being back together. He finally gets to rest instead of being a soldier. Oh well, let's put the thingy out now. I have a bigger one. Dun 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 dun. Ah! There you go. Number 1 in the middle. Yeah. So for the future of Marvel, I don't know what's gonna happen next. Like everything seems exciting. There's the WandaVision was okay. Falcon and Winter Soldier was not that great. Loki seems to be doing fine right now. When does the Hawkeye show come out? Is it this year or next year? It really is just like an endless void of movies or TV shows now, or movie-like TV shows. I'm excited to see Black Widow, the Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi, whatever you want to say it, Eternals, Spider-Man Far From no, Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, yeah, it's just an endless void. Like it's just never like stopping. I used to like it, but there's no like end to it now. Like it's just like a series ends or a movie franchise ends. It just ends. There's no end to it. It's just like endless and endless. Will I talk about it? Will I be excited for it? I don't know. That's the biggest question. I mean, yeah, these nerd directors that make movies and like love old movies or whatever, and probably having homage to like kung fu movies like in Shang-Chi and like the Guardians or like 80s throwback whatever. Same with the new way of Thor is. Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to be like a horror movie. I think Wanda's like the villain probably. I heard something like that. Or maybe she's not. Or maybe it's Mephisto. Everyone's been saying Mephisto. Mephisto. It's like a demon, devil demon, whatever guy. Like binging all of it, it makes me realize though, yeah, there's just so much. You know, there's only one Little Women movie. You can watch that over and over again. That's the best Marvel movie. Yeah, but yeah, I guess everyone could say like the thing to say about Marvel movies now, or is that they're good. At least directors have work in their like big nerds or whatever, like film, and they like get to like make homages to other film. Like, same with the Star Wars movies. They're just like nerd film lovers, whatever, lover of films, not cinema style, movie buffs. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, so what do you think of all these Marvel movies? What do you think of the Infinity Saga or Marvel? So yeah, what do you think of all these movies? Did you like the Infinity Saga? Are you burnt out like I am? Yeah, you've seen a YouTube video probably, yeah. You know what to do. How do you feel about this? Okay, he didn't like them actually, because it doesn't have violence. On the Baby Yoda or Goku, whatever the name is again, he says like, there's no Star Wars in this, so why is there no Star Wars? Like, how do you know what Star Wars is? Don't you live the Star Wars? He's not answering me. I don't know why. It's because he's a doll. Oh well, let's, bye.